Okay, hello guys. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for sparing around an hour of your today's evening and joining this free Beetroot Academy webinar. I'm so glad to welcome you here. My name is Veronica. I am the event manager at Beetroot Academy. And at the beginning of the event, as usual, I will take just a couple of minutes to talk through some organizational stuff, cover some of the questions that are pretty common, again, regarding the organization more than the informational part. And then, of course, we shall start. So, as you always know, the topic of today's event is, of course, a career path that you can take in the tech sphere. And today's specific topic is, of course, career in the project management. I can imagine that when you are thinking about switching to a new field or picking maybe your even first career, if that's the case, it's pretty hard to get the concise information you may be seeking for. And in my opinion, one of the easiest and fastest way to get it is, of course, to talk to a professional. And that's the exact way we're going to do today because Danylo with us, our speaker, is not only an experienced project manager, with a lot of years of experience, but he's also an experienced teacher at Beetroot Academy. And that's, I believe, the greatest combo you can get because he will not only share the ins and outs of the profession he's in, but he will also tell a lot about how he teaches and how maybe the newbies and newcomers to the field may feel, what concerns do they have. And he has this direct hands-on experience with working and teaching those people. So I believe he may be able to cover all of the questions that you may have. So let's start with the quick technical check. First of all, can you please let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me, if the video is going on pretty good. So please, if that's all right, put a plus or like say hello in the comment section in the live chat. That's the main communicational instrument. While you're doing that, please, I would also suggest you using that live chat as, again, the communication tool. Please write all of the questions. If you have some questions right now in your mind, put them there. If they appear in your mind while we are talking about the project management and the field and some career advice, again, just put them there. But please remember that we shall cover them, all of them, at the end of the event. We have a separate Q&A session where you will be able to ask additional questions if they arise. And I will also come back to all of the comments you leave and we'll go through them as well. So as we have Q&A session at the end, the first and the biggest informational part of the event will be, of course, about the career of project manager, what does this specialist do, what his tasks, what his typical day looks like, and we'll just cover the basics, well, Danylo mainly, and then, of course, we shall cover all the questions and comments you may have. So I hope the video is all right and the sound as well. I will also send you the recording of this live stream, so no worries if you have to maybe leave earlier, that's totally fine. You will have the recording, the presentation, and all of the materials of today's event. They will be sent to you via the email that you used for the registration form for this event. So you will have everything to come back in a more convenient time or maybe just to recollect the information that we have been talking about. To be honest, on my part, that's it. I hope that we'll have a great hour and a half roughly together. And with that being said, Danylo, I will give you the word. So maybe let's start with the general presentation. So could you please tell us a bit more about your experience? Where do you work? What's your main projects? And of course, just maybe a little bit of personal information to share with the guests.
Hello, everybody. Okay, in case if you hear not very well, just ping Veronica in the chat. Hope you hear everything all right. One moment, I'm turning on the sharing and now you see probably, yeah? Okay, if you see the screen and see the presentation, please put plus in the chat. Is everything all right, Veronica? Okay, great. So we can start. You see, it's just the title slide, so let's go further. Here's me. I have experience in IT, which is 5+ years. Before I was coordinating projects, but in other industries. Among them, the most interesting ones were investment industry, in military sector, and green energy sector. I have a bachelor degree and master degree in finance. This is my first education, and then I knew for sure that I will be working in IT industry. That's why I applied and finished master's in informatics. It's written computer science in my diploma, but still it's like more informatics. So it's like combination between social sciences and computer science. Also, for now I have only one certification as a Scrum Master. And by the way, it's probably may arise some questions from your side. Certifications are not very important generally for your career, but they will be a plus for sure. So like that. And Beetroot course may help you to pursue couple of basic project management and Scrum certifications as well if you want to. But it is not like the total course because you will need to learn a little bit more, but yes, it is possible. And domains which I had dealt with, e-commerce, fintech, gaming, healthcare, cloud-based tools, some small projects. I worked with, I started my career working with outsourcing of art and animation, like in game outsourcing studio. And then I changed it to the general IT, working with huge enterprise systems and developers. And by the way, it's pretty huge difference working with artists and developers. Okay, that's my background, and we may go to the next topics. Okay, here we'll cover some basic and general information about project manager, project manager, and who is he or she, what is project generally, and we'll understand, I hope you will understand, if project management is best occupation for you or not. And okay, generally the structure is the following. We'll have this small introduction to project management in the beginning, and then we'll go to Q&A session. Of course, if you have some urgent questions, if you have some connection issues, or if you have some urgent questions in connection with some terminology I use or something, please put it in a chat immediately, and we will answer such questions right after they appear. Okay, but for the beginning, before we begin.
Yeah, so I suggest before we actually dive deep into the topic and be all the serious and like information consuming, I also suggest us checking the vibe and the mood of today's evening. I believe for a lot of people, Monday, especially Monday evening, can be tough. So I would like to hear from you. How are you feeling? I hope that you had the chance to maybe reconnect from the previous work to the educational event. So as you can see here, we have developed a scale of a cat. So could you please pick up the number of the cat that represents your mood at best and write it into the chat? I would love to see your responses. And meanwhile, Danylo, I have the same question for you. First of all, are you a dog or a cat person, by the way? Do you like cats or dogs?
I like all animals, but yeah, probably cats are my favorite ones.
Okay, that's great. So please, which of these cats we have on the screen represents your mood the best?
I would like to say that I'm 6, like I'm so enlightened, but for now probably something between 7 and 4 because I'm really excited to be here and to talk with you guys. And by the way, Veronica, what about you?
Let me see. I really think I'm cat number 1 because I had quite a day today. So I came into the city early from the train, which is not I'm not the early bird. So I had to like wake up really early, and then I had a work day, and now I'm here on the event. So I'm feeling like really pumped up and energized to do all the tasks. But after the event, I will be definitely cat number 2, like snuggled with a book or something, because yeah, that was a really tough Monday for me. I see one of the responses. Number 4 is my cat. Is my cat to go for today? Hey, Marina. Number 4, great choice. I think it's also like a pretty energized kitten, eager to learn, eager to know more. That's a great choice. Thank you so much for sharing. If you will have any additional thoughts, please write them down in the comments, and I suggest maybe we can move on to actually discussing the topic. So Danylo, with what shall we start for today?
We'll start with a definition of what is project. And so here, generally, you will see my approach to explaining the material to my students. And probably I should mention that I was one of the people who reorganized the course a couple of years ago. There were 4 of us, and like the current version of the course is like my child as well. So yeah, generally here you may see something like parts of the actual course. Okay, and it's one thing which I wanted to mention in the beginning, and another one is like really my approach. I'm trying to be as scientific as it is possible. Project management is not generally science. Of course, it's not like social or like natural science, but we may call it social science. But still, we may use some scientific approaches learning concepts of the project management. For example, analysis and synthesis. Yeah, and you can see this PMBOK guide. It's one of the most important books for general project management, not on the IT project management, which we are mainly talking about throughout this course. This book is being updated every 4 years, and we try to take the most important and basic terminology and definitions from this book. So, and by the way, yeah, this book is provided by PMI, Project Management Institute. This is an international organization which may provide a certificate for you if you pass a really hard exam. So, according to PMI, project is temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Okay, so how can we understand that? Project is some set of actions which are limited in time and which lead to completion of some goals. That is the project. And here I provided some kind of formula for that. It's just for easier understanding of that. You may call project anything. You may call a project like going out and going shopping, for example, because in the beginning you plan something, you think about that, then you plan something, then you go to the shop, then you bring it back home, and then your project is complete, and all your goals are reached if you haven't forgotten something, of course. Generally, here you can see 4 examples of project. One of the most basic examples of project, which you can hear throughout your project management journey, is construction project, because here we can see all the stages of project management, which we will be talking about today a little bit later. And construction projects may be decomposed. I will tell you about decomposition one moment, please wait. Decomposed to several parts, to lots of parts, and all of that is covered in PMBOK. You may find it. So PMBOK is just like a huge instruction to any kind of project and project management. Okay, so if you're building a house, of course, or like some living complex, I don't know, you have the beginning, you have execution stage, and you have completion. If you are producing the car, the same thing. If you're writing code, of course, you have the idea of your application, and you have the stage of creation of the application, you have the ending of creation of application, and only support is going later. And for example, organizing, event management, yeah, it's project management as well. Organizing the wedding is also a project, because all of these stages and all of the needed elements from this formula are present in that. You see, actions, time limit, and result. So that is why project management is really different, and lots of industries may have it like they have project managers on board, and it is really interesting thing. So generally project management is a practice of using knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to reach project goals, shortly speaking. I would like to say that project management is using everything you can to reach the goal. Everything, just everything. And I will explain you now why. Okay, here you see the essence of project management. Probably, Veronica, we may finish now because generally, guys, it's everything you need. Here is the essence of project management. Of course, it's a joke. And now I'm returning back to decomposition in this term. As I mentioned in the beginning, we may use some scientific approach, and scientific approach is analysis and synthesis. Analysis is separation of something single into different pieces and analyzing of every single piece. And then synthesis, after an analysis, we may synthesize some idea or synthesize some outcome from these pieces. So here you see really the main thing about project management at all. And now after a couple of slides, I will decompose it briefly, and you will understand what we are going to do on the course. So generally, this one is called project or iron triangle, or triangle of limitations as well. You may find any name for this thing. It means why it is iron. I like and I prefer the term iron triangle because it explains this essence in the best way. It is iron because everything what project manager should balance on the project is included in that, and it is scope, cost, time, and quality, which is being produced of scope, cost, and time. But when you decide to change scope, for example, scope is about the whole tasks, the whole task list which you had to complete the project. And if you add some tasks to your scope, of course, it leads to moving of deadline. You will not be able to finalize the project in the same time as it was expected before. And of course, it will lead to increasing of costs because at least somebody will be working more. So you, as a project manager, you will be in need to pay this somebody to work. So you will have more money spent on the project. And if, for example, your client wants to increase scope without any increase in time or cost, it will be impossible. And it's like iron sides of a triangle. It will lead to decrease in quality. The same thing, if you want to decrease costs, it will decrease scope or increase time. But the sides are moving as they are iron. That is why probably you will really remember from the current webinar, you will remember this concept, and because I think it is very vivid and very understandable. So generally successful project we see. Successful project is a project which was completed under all these limitations, without changing and without losses of quality. It is completed and successful project. And how can we reach this goal? To reach this goal, we have classical stages of the project. Of course, we may cover not only these classical stages throughout our course. We are going to learn more about agile methodology and about some frameworks from agile. If you haven't heard, it's like special techniques of project management which appeared with the development of IT industry, let's say like that for now. So here you see an example of decomposition, by the way, because we decompose this essence of project management to stages of project. And you see, classically, we have 5 stages: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and control, and closure. And every stage, of course, may be decomposed as well. You see examples of important tasks to complete on each stage, and also important documents to be created on each stage. I will not be deepening into every of these tasks or document now, but generally here you see pretty good what we are going to talk about on the course, because we will have all these documents and nuances covered. We'll have lots of real life examples. We will have interactive interactions with you, and it will be like almost every lesson is interactive. Of course, there are lessons which are more lection type, but we try not to do that, and every lesson is interactive. And also you will be provided with templates of these documents, of course, which you are going to use then when you apply and successfully find a job as project manager. So something like that. But describing each stage a little, on initiation stage, we are just thinking about the project, meeting client for the first time, gathering initial requirements for the project, and understand how to move on. Probably we sign some contracts, yeah. NDA as minimum, non-disclosure agreement. On the planning stage, we have our scope planned, we have our budget, we have our team, then and other stuff with plans of time, plans of resources, something like that. At execution stage, we just are having the most project management part. We are controlling, we are forecasting something, we are coordinating lots of different people. And like execution and monitoring are not completely the stages, it's mostly the one stage, you see, but separated into two things, yeah. But generally it's one, because you're monitoring and controlling on the execution stage as well, yeah. And then we close the project, and we may do some finalization, project documentation, and archive this project, and that's it. If you have questions for now, please write them down into the chat. We may discuss them in the end on a Q&A station. Okay, a small fun part. What project manager do as for fun, yeah? You see, it's just some kind of meme, but we may see that in the end I'm stressed out because of lots of everything is on me. You should understand that it's joke, but it's partial joke. Of course, project management work is pretty stressful, but it's dynamic on the other hand. It's not boring. So we are approaching this moment when you will be deciding, is it for you or not? But I would like to say that probably project management is an important thing to at least know for everybody, and even for technical specialists, for any kind of technical specialists, for even like for accountants, I don't know, because one way or another, if you're trying to make a career in some kind of company, earlier or later you will face management position and you will be equipped for that position after our course, of course, or with your own efforts. So here you see in gray like tasks of project management, project manager, which are really the most important things which project manager does. to make this balance of project triangle. Project manager should plan, should control, should motivate the crew and coordinate lots of sides which are involved into the project. By the way, they are called stakeholders, if somebody knew, probably. So coordinate all stakeholders of the project. And also I included some other things to this side, to this slide, just for you to see that project manager should see the whole picture. For example, of course, it is needed for every specialist on the project, I would say, and every technical specialist as well. But from it's not really highly required, but from the project manager, it is really required, because seeing the whole picture allows you to plan better, to control better, to understand where are we going. Client connections is another important thing. Lots of interactions with clients are happening for project manager. Of course, if we are talking about outstaff or outsourced company, talking about IT industry, and if we are talking about product, anyway, your CEO or your investors are your clients in that case. So anyway, you're gathering some requirements and you're coordinating between your team project and your client. Probably you may do some team creations and team buildings for your team. It is important for team health. You'll be structuring chaos a lot. That is why on the previous slide you you saw this picture. Chaos and chaotic processes are very usual for lots of companies, I would say, and one of the main tasks for project manager is decreasing the level of this chaos and entropy. So structuring everything is one of the most important goals. Also, you may be something like a salesman. You'll be finding new business opportunities. For example, you will be working in outstaff or outsource. You will be seeing what client needs and trying to sell more people to these projects. Working for product company, you will be seeing where project and your product especially goes, and how can you increase the profit for your company. This is as well new business opportunities. You see, psychotherapy. Yeah, probably it is funny, but it is not funny at all. You will be some kind of psychotherapist for somebody from your team, for sure. You will be making strong connections with your teammates and knowing what they are thinking about, how their back is aching, how their cat or dog is called, what's about their kids or wives or something, or husbands. Yeah, so it's totally normal situation. But generally you'll be finding solutions and driving and pushing this your team to the completion of the goal. Generally, it's like overview of everything project manager do. Okay, here we can see like a little bit adapted project manager's day. It is adapted because generally project management is very different. Not only in two different companies it will be totally different, but also inside one company in different parts of this company on different projects it may be different as well. But generally, yeah, in the beginning of the day, project manager should check all messengers and all emails, because differences in time zones makes somebody write during your night, or vice versa. You're writing in the daytime for you and somebody wakes up later. And after that, we have, and everybody has on the project regular kind of meetings, which are just probably better to do. Of course, it's flexible, but it's better to do in the morning, just for everybody to to set their mind on work to understand what are they going to do today. And then it is a variety of options. Of course, you may have one-on-one meetings with team members. You have work with project documentation, with any kind of project documentations I mentioned on the slide with project stages. You may have brainstorms with your team. You may have budget discussions. You may have calls with client. You may have some unpredictable things which appear out of nowhere and make you stressed. But you should be prepared for that and not stress at all. Okay, something like that. So beginning of the day, you're reading your messages, you're having your regular meetings, and then operational stuff comes and you're working with any project related stuff, something like that. So generally, how to understand if project management is your cup of tea or not? Just based on everything I mentioned already, try to reflect on that for yourselves and try to think, is it for me or not? You should base your approach in these reflections on your personal traits of character, on your skills, and probably really your interests and hobbies. If you see, not always, by the way, probably you may have thought for now that project management is only for some kind of talkative people or for extroverts, for example. I would not say like that. There are different types of project managers. Some of them are extroverts and some of them are introverts. It doesn't really matter. Introverts are perfect project managers as well because they can probably structure better, and it doesn't mean that they cannot communicate with somebody. No, it's just their personal trait of character and the way they spend or receive energy, and feel their energy up. Probably for extroverts, it will be a little bit easier to be working with different things simultaneously. On the other hand, project managers should be very attentive. That is why there is no direct point of who should be project manager. So you think for yourself, really. And generally, you see our recommendations. You may take a free self-paced introductory course, do some tasks from that course, and make a conclusion for yourself if project management fits you well or not, or probably you just want to try, because of course this small introductory course doesn't cover lots of things, and which we cover through the whole course. So that's it. Let's go to this free online course.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I will share just a bit more of information about the intro course. So again, it's completely free. It's for you to try out some tasks that you may face as a project manager. And in this intro course, there are 5 lessons. 2 of them are, let's say, more theoretical. There is an intro paragraph about the career in project management, basically what we are covering right now. But also there are 2 practical lessons, mainly working with documents. So as far as I remember, you will try to complete a couple of typical project manager documents that you may need to fill up during any kind of project. But please, no worries, you will have both the theoretical material to study and to prepare on, but also you'll have a detailed step-by-step video instruction to follow, what to check yourself if you have done the task correctly. And the best part, I believe, is that if you complete the course, you will get 15% of the main project management course. And to do it, you just have to mention it to our educational advisors while you are doing a conversation or an interview, as we say, that you have registered and successfully completed this course. There will be no certificate for the intro course, but it will give you, I believe, a solid foundation to at least like check on yourself, is this the type of work you're willing to do or not? But of course, as Danylo has said, it's just a glimpse. In the whole world of project management, there are far more to learn and to master and to practice that we'll cover in the main course. But at least for now, you can try without any kind of like commissions or, commitment to something bigger, just for you to try it on and yeah, decide for yourself. I will also take a couple of minutes to talk more about some general questions. Oh, I'm so sorry. And first of all, no, the second slide, please. So I will share with you also a couple of really good sources to maybe browse on sometime. One of them is our blog part, which is called Success Stories. So basically those are interviews with our students and graduates who have successfully completed the studying process and found a job, not only from the project management course, but from UI UX design or front-end development. And I believe those articles are great for you to read in two ways. First of all, they are a great source of motivation because Danylo, of course, here is talking everything about the profession and sometimes make it sound easier, but like, hey, he is a professional project management for, I already forgot how many years. And you, as someone who is just starting out, may feel a little bit disconnected, probably even afraid, and that's totally fine because when you start something new, it's okay to feel afraid and maybe even overwhelmed. And by reading those stories, you have a great perspective of the people who, as you, changed profession at some point of their life, decided to take a course and complete it and found a job and now are content with their career and continue working in tech or non-tech companies. That's also totally up to you after the courses. So that's the first way. And the second way why these articles, I believe, can be really handy for you is that they contain a lot of advice our students share, both regarding the educational process and job hunting. I mean, like, what projects should you really focus on while you're learning? How best to prepare for the tech interview for, let's say, project management position? What to talk about? What main questions do the interviewers ask? Why it's really important to start looking for a job while you're still learning. And they tell you so many insider tips and tricks on the job search process, which makes these articles, in my opinion, a really great search of information. That's why I also really suggest you reading not only project management articles, but all of them in general, and see if you can pick up those tips, because again, they are really great and firsthand. I want to also share, if you can please go to the next slide, just a couple of facts about the Beetroot Academy, because here we are with this event on behalf of the Beetroot Academy. So we are Ukrainian-Swedish tech school, and we have been working for more than 10 years now, and are proud to announce that our courses have successfully passed over 12,000 students, and a huge chunk of them already work in more than 700 companies worldwide. Those are great results we're really proud of. But not only numbers say in the favor, we are also recognized by a broad network like of different companies who are our partners, both in educational process, but also in jobs and vacancies. And we also are accredited by Omega. There is a link built in the presentation if you would like to learn more about it. But in short terms, it's a European organization that acknowledges educational providers, and both our course materials, our lessons, and also our certificates, which is a great point, are like acknowledged and accredited by this organization, which makes them far more valuable and also is a mark of quality. So you really know that we are not teaching you something like from the free articles of the internet. We also have a pretty different system of the education. So first of all, it's of course live classes with the teacher like Danylo. And we also use a method that is used like a flipped classroom. That means that you will learn theoretical material on your own. Please, no worries, you will have them collected and prepared for you for each lesson, but then on the actual class, you will come to, let's say, Danylo, and you will discuss all of the questions you may have, answer the questions that Danylo will have for you, practice some practical, sorry for repeating, tasks, and develop skills that will be on hands when you are going for your job search. So those classes will pack you with skills, not only knowledge, to get your first job. You will also have a separate group coordinator, who is the person responsible for making your educational process as smooth as possible. So all the tech questions, organizational stuff is all up to them. They will help you on each step of the way. And of course, we have quite a lot of different bonuses to give you not only practical skills in your profession, but also necessary skills as AI mastering. We have a free bonus module for each course, project management included, to master AI in two, let's say, blocks. How to use it as project manager specifically, but also how to use it in your job search process with different tips, tricks, resources, tools that you can use to help you in this journey of job search, which is also really handy, I believe. And of course, you will have a tight community of your group mates and classmates who are also learning and starting this journey alongside you to create, again, this additional motivation, because starting something, as I have mentioned, can be really scary. So I hope this will also motivate you enough to continue the journey, however scary it may seem to you. And the last information I will have for you with Danylo, of course, it's just a bit of info on the project management course. Again, all the ins and outs will cover Danylo. I will tell you the main organizational stuff. So the next group starts really soon, and Danylo will be the teacher of that group. It starts on February 26th, and we already have a planned schedule for it. So you will have 2 lessons per week on Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. For Central European time. We usually plan those lessons at the evening because, of course, quite a lot of us are busy people who have their first job, families, friends. So we try to schedule the classes at the evening so you can actually have time to follow them and visit. In case you miss 1 or 2 classes, please no worries. All the classes will be recorded and saved in the learning management system alongside with all the theoretical materials, document templates that Danylo mentioned. So everything you will use and mention in the class or at the course in general will be saved there, and which is the best part, you will have the access to that system till the end of the time. So even after graduating, you will have all of those links, documents, video recordings to come back to refresh your knowledge and to maybe give some more inspiration, for example, before the interview you are going to pass. As for the topics, the materials, Danylo, what can you say? What do we usually go through? So how do we prepare a specialist in the course?
Okay, generally we have presentations as well, which are shared forever with you. We have templates, as it was twice mentioned before. We are basing our course, again, as I mentioned, on project management book of knowledge, body of knowledge, PMBOK. And also, for example, there is one lesson about testing of software, and we try to base it on another body of knowledge, but like for testers. Also, I'm not sure, it's generally about the course, and we developed it like step by step, covering all the project stages and covering all important. Of course, it is impossible to cover everything which you can or cannot imagine on the project, but we covered the main things which like the mostly probably will be asked, for example, during your job interview, or which you may use during your actual projects. So everything is very practical and useful. And also, I'm not sure about other teachers, but I'm continuously studying myself as well. I'm covering some courses on Udemy or Coursera. So sometimes I put something from these courses, like approaches, into my presentations, because presentations are really different for every teacher. But of course, I mention the course from which I took some idea, But generally, as you see on the slide, our full course may be considered as a pretty good basis for your PSM1 or CAPM certifications. It's like one of the certifications is of these certifications is Agile one, another is about like more classical project management. Yes, I agree totally. It is very good basis for that. But probably will be in need to cover a little bit more information, because we are covering everything. So from this everything, it's like really university course or something, you know. If you want to deep into one of the parts of project management, or for example, if you want just to become totally Scrum Master or product owner, and you will be working only like in agile environment. I mean, everybody now in software development industry is working in agile environment, but generally, if you will just want to be Scrum Master, which is not project manager, but we are covering this position as well throughout this course, you will be having like the one part of the course very useful for you. Another handy part of the course is for people who may use it for more classical project management. But what is important to say that, of course, the approaches of project management are the same everywhere. They are like universal for every type of project. But we are talking only about approaches. Of course, some nuances, some documentation may vary depending on industry. But what is important to mention, here in Beetroot, we are working with software development industry. And for example, you will have your final project required to generally to be completed to have the certification from Beetroot. And of course, these final projects are IT projects, like they are applications. They are not IT related. For example, they are not projects in IT marketing, for example. They're not about marketing of some IT product. They are directly about the development of some kind of IT product. So it is important to understand, and yeah. But generally, as Veronica mentioned before, all the concepts of project management which we are highlighting in this course may be used in other industries, but all our experience and examples are mostly from IT industry. Okay, I may use another examples from my previous places and previous positions in companies, like from green energy, for example, as we were having business trips in the mountains and trying to put some wind measuring devices in there. But yeah, it's interesting to listen to, and generally it is experience as well, but mostly we are targeting IT industry.
Thank you so much. I believe with that being said, we can move to the final part, but I believe one of the most important parts nevertheless, which is Q&A session. So again, I invite all of you to join the live chat and to write down any kind of question you may have beforehand or even during the event to me as for the educational process and organizational stuff, or of course to Danyla regarding anything project management included, both about career and how do you start and what's important to know, what maybe materials can he recommend, and also educational. Yes, so again, how do you learn? Do you need those certificates he mentioned, etc.? So anything you are eager to learn in this sphere, please write down those questions in the live chat, and I will read them aloud. While I'm waiting for the questions from you, I have also gathered a couple of questions that are pretty common among the students and people who are generally interested in project management as one of the spheres. And first of all is basically what I have mentioned already. Those certificates that you have mentioned that, for example, PM1 or whatever equivalent, do you believe they are really necessary, especially for project managers, who only start their career? So for example, project manager after our course, is it necessary for them to complete also a PM1 certification, for example?
It is not highly necessary, but generally it may highlight you among all the candidates with the same experience. So it doesn't help a lot, but yeah, it may highlight your CV, for example, and you will be chosen for the next steps.
Thank you so much. The second very popular question is, of course, regarding artificial intelligence. So, first question is, of course, is it really, does it take a lot of pressure from the project management? Is it really helpful tool? And the second, more personal, do you use any kind of AI tools in your work? Can you recommend something? Do they really help?
Sorry, probably I misheard something about the first question. Is it necessary for project management or?
Yeah, so is it a popular thing for project managers? Is it popular demand to know and to work with
Demand.
AI?
Okay, you know, I'm not monitoring job market for now, so I would not say that. I mean, I'm receiving some email notifications from several job portals, but I cannot say that I saw, for now at least, I saw too many. I mean, I haven't seen, I have never seen such requests, but it's my bias. Here we should make more research for that. So is it required? If it is written in the job description, okay, it may be required, but I'm pretty sure that for now it cannot be required for project manager. It probably maybe only nice to have, like, you know, in the job description you have necessary points from your skills and experience, yeah, and something like maybe a plus. So this is it. And about the next question, if I'm using it, yeah, I'm using it. I'm using it widely because it really helps to understand. I'm not like technical project manager. Okay, I can say that I know more technical things that some other project managers. Yes, and I'm pretty sure about that. But I have no coding background, for example, yeah. So if I try to understand some complex issue or concept, which is important right now for me as for manager, so yeah, I'm speaking to ChatGPT. I'm using it, and usually Chat explains me everything pretty well. And you know, it is better because you may have your answers really fast. Of course, you may research everything and you may find everything in the internet, but it will take you an hour, for example. And with the help of some kind of neural network, you will have this answer in a minute. So yeah, it's. I would say that it is important for now to start using it, but it's not required for now.
Okay, thank you so much for your response. And my last question of the most general ones that I hear is, especially if we talk about project managers in tech sphere, if the person has no experience with tech sphere, no background, is it really necessary for a project manager to understand who is a developer, who is UI UX designer, what do they do? Do they really need to understand all the backgrounds of each specialist they are going to work in the tech sphere to be a good project manager? Sorry, I'm always confusing management and manager.
It's a good question. I was asking myself this one when I was switching to IT as well. Okay, yeah. The more you know, the better, of course. But it is not required. There are junior coordinator positions, and during your junior position, you are receiving lots of knowledge about tech sphere, about different you know, in the first on the first the first thing you receive lots of terminology, and this is the most important thing to know for project manager, just to have all these concepts in your head, to know how they are combined, and to know yeah, like Veronica mentioned, who is dealing with what, but it is not really complicated. I mean, you know, we will cover. It's really easy. Don't think that I'm saying from my point of view, from my experience. No, it's really easy to understand that developer does such things, and QA, quality assurance specialist, does such things. DevOps does such things. You just know who is doing what, and it is not really important to know how it is done. If you want to know more how it is done, you may go to ChatGPT and ask, and ChatGPT will explain, really. And of course, again, if you have this will to know the technical nuances of developers' job, for example, it will be only a plus for you. It will be your advantage generally, but especially in the beginning, it's not really important. But as I started, I will finish with that. The more you know, the better.
Thank you so much for the response. We also have a question. Thank you so much, Julie. I hope I pronounced the name right for this question. So, Danylo, when looking for a job, how to find the right job as a start? I mean, keywords like junior, PMO, or PM doesn't always return all the offers. There are so many different titles they go by.
The first thing I would say that apply for any IT related job you can. If it will be some kind of, I don't know, QA coordinator, why not? Why not? Yeah. And then you will be always closer. After that, if your application will be successful, you will be much closer to your favorite one and to your target position. But if you are talking about exact wordings, yeah, okay, I would say that it is project manager, project coordinator, just coordinator, probably project associate, something like that. You may try junior scrum master as well. Okay, these were the only titles jumped to my mind, but for more, again, we may ask ChatGPT. But I would say that it's pretty it because all other titles may not be considered as project management occupations, probably positions. But look through the job posts, and after that you will develop a strategy for yourself, and you will see something common in job descriptions and positions, etc.
Yeah. We also have a second question from Julie, but please let us know if the answer was full enough for you. Did you catch everything? And her second question is also, as a start, is it better to learn and gain experience in a big company or in a startup?
As I already told you guys, the best for you is just to apply and find any IT related job, anywhere, really. But yeah, generally, if we are talking about this choice, I would say that big company is much better because it provides you the whole understanding of the whole project management cycle, and also you may, it's highly probable you might touch something with budget, because it's not always when project managers are dealing with budgets. For example, now I have no access to budget information, financial information, but in my previous company, yeah, I was working with budgets, and it provided me really huge, and it was big company, which really helped me to developed the total understanding of everything. And after that, by the way, I applied for Beetroot, because after that I felt my strength to explain it to other people. But before, I didn't have this understanding. So yeah, I would say for beginning, huge company for beginning is good. But always remember that huge company means some kind of corporation, lots of bureaucracy, some other corporate aspects which are not very pleasant, less dynamic than small companies, but much more good from career point of view. By the way, yeah, if somebody sees such big company in your CV, it will be much easier for you to find the next job.
Julie writes that I like the response, like for looking for any job you can find, just get in, that it will be easier. But yes, I've seen job titles like customer success specialist or similar, which also is some type of project management.
No, it's another thing. Interesting one. You may apply for that, by the way. It's pretty good for the beginning, and probably, but if you are targeting project management position, don't stay for too long in customer success, because it's not the same. It's really different things. But it is also so-called client-facing position. So after that, you may apply for project management, because it is client-facing position as well. Customer success is dealing with just customers, not with team or project or anything we mentioned in our webinar today. Customer success is really dealing only with customer expectations and management of customer level of happiness, let's say, in any possible ways. But it's not project management.
I decided to maybe complete the question from Julie. Could you please enumerate a few phrases that we may find in job descriptions that will tell us this is project management, even if the title is kind of weird? So what should we be looking for in the job descriptions? What are the skills we look for? What are the, I don't know, competences we should have, something like that?
For the starting position,
yeah, of course.
Okay, something like probably it will be something like coordination, just coordination. Yeah, this word is one of the most frequent ones, and probably risks. Working with risks, but it's not for the beginner, but still probably it's one of the most important things in project management. And client negotiation, probably. Okay, no, let's say, such words as client, team, risks, and coordination. These words, I'm talking about words, not phrases, because phrases really can be different. Motivating the team, leading the project to success, coordinating the team, forecasting workload, having your team and your client satisfied, reaching project goals, something like that. Everything like that you may find in job descriptions, but really the most important words are coordination, team, risks, probably agile or scrum, by the way. Yeah, you may find this pretty frequently as well.
Thank you so much. I believe that was a very useful one. And Julie also says, thank you very much for your responses. And as I don't see any questions, at least for now, I think we can end up right here. So guys, who are the watchers, thank you so much for finding the time and joining us, maybe watching the recording. Then also, thank you so much for finding a separate evening to come back to us. For all of the questions that I get, also, thank you so much. I hope that responses were actually helpful. Danylo, thank you so much for presenting the material and answering all of the questions. In case you have any questions that may be not covered in the webinar, you can always get a free consultation at the Beetroot Academy website. And our educational advisors will also try their best to help not only in project management course and field, but also in case you're still doubting and choosing between different spheres, they are the one who you can talk to and ask all the questions about like the prospects of the career and how to choose better, and of course which course will suit you best. I remind you that you will have the recording of the live stream, the presentation that we have right here, and all of the additional materials in the email that you used to register for this event. I hope this evening was interesting for you, and I think that if you come just one step closer to deciding your career, if you are ready to switch into tech, and especially if you're ready to switch into project management, if you're just one step closer to that decision, that we have done an amazing job. So Danylo, thank you so much one more time. And to all of you, thank you. And I hope to see you as our future students or maybe as future guests at another Beetroot Academy webinar. I wish you good evening and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Veronica, and thank you everybody for coming. We'll be happy to see you.